The year was 2748, and humanity had finally reached a dream that had once seemed impossible. For centuries, humans had gazed at the stars, wondering what lay beyond their solar system. Now, after decades of exploration, technological breakthroughs, and political negotiation, Earth had earned a seat in the Celestial Assembly, the most powerful interstellar alliance in known space. Ambassador Lyra Voss stood at the airlock of the Assembly Station, taking a deep breath. She was the first human to ever enter the hall where thousands of alien delegates gathered. The station itself was a marvel, a giant ring of crystal and metal, floating gracefully around a dying star. Its walls shimmered with light that came from the star itself, giving the interior a golden, almost magical glow. Inside the grand hall, the delegates were already present. Some floated in the air like living clouds of energy, their bodies glowing with soft light. Others had scales, feathers, or multiple limbs, and a few were so strange that Lyra struggled to describe them. Yet, all of them were powerful beings who had guided the fate of entire civilizations for thousands of years. Lyra's heart beat fast, but her face remained calm. She knew that Earth had prepared for this moment for decades. Her presence symbolized humanity's rise from a small, war-torn planet to a civilization that could now compete with the oldest species in the galaxy. As she walked through the hall, hundreds of eyes turned toward her. Some were curious, some wary, and some openly suspicious. The humans' rapid growth and determination had not gone unnoticed. While many species were polite, a few whispered to one another, glances filled with caution or fear. At the center of the hall, Lyra stepped onto a raised platform to deliver her speech. Thousands of alien faces turned toward her. Some had expressions that were impossible for humans to read, while others mirrored what she expected. A mix of respect and doubt. Honorable delegates of the Celestial Assembly, Lyra began, her voice strong and steady. Humanity comes before you today as a young civilization, eager to learn, share, and grow alongside you. We seek not domination, nor conflict, but understanding, cooperation, and peace. We offer our knowledge, our resources, and our creativity to help build a galaxy where all worlds may prosper without fear. A ripple of applause moved through parts of the assembly. Lyra allowed herself a small smile. For Earth, this was a historic victory. It seemed that the universe had finally recognized humanity as a worthy member. But behind the applause, in the shadowed corners of the hall, some of the oldest and most powerful species exchanged worried glances. The Xylar Dominion, the KRYV Coalition, and the Helion Technate were the true power players. They had watched humanity from the very beginning, quietly tracking every technological advance, every political achievement, and every exploration mission. "Too fast," whispered Overlord Nivrax of the Xylar Dominion, his claws tapping nervously on the table in front of him. "They rise too quickly. In less than a century, they could surpass any of us." A Helion technologist named Calyx nodded. "Their adaptability is unprecedented. They learn from every encounter, every battle, and every challenge. If we do not act now, they may become uncontrollable." A Thalar general leaned forward, his reptilian eyes narrowing. "We cannot allow them to dominate our systems. We must find a way to guide them before they guide themselves." Meanwhile, back on Earth, people celebrated. The news of humanity joining the Celestial Assembly spread across the planet in hours. Cities glowed with holographic projections, people danced in the streets, and families gathered to watch the historic event. For the first time in thousands of years, humans felt a sense of unity and pride that went beyond borders, governments, and politics. Lyra returned to Earth several days later, greeted by cheers and parades. She met with scientists, engineers, and leaders who had worked tirelessly for this moment. Yet Admiral Torrin Hale, commander of the United Earth Defense Fleet, remained cautious. "I have studied the Council's history," Torrin said as he walked with Lyra through a park filled with floating gardens. "They are ancient, powerful, and patient. Young civilizations like ours often become tools or threats. We must remain vigilant." Lyra understood. Humanity had won a seat at the table, but the table was full of predators disguised as allies. Still, she believed in the potential for cooperation, and she hoped that her presence would encourage mutual respect. Back in the assembly hall, the alien leaders continued their private discussions. Their whispers carried warnings, doubts, and plans. The secret factions, Xyler, KRYV, and Helion, would not reveal their intentions publicly, but they began laying the groundwork for what they called management protocols. Humanity was clever, yes, but it was also untested. The Council would need to control its growth, or so they believed. On Earth, humanity's scientists and engineers worked on new projects fueled by the Council's limited technology-sharing programs. Colonies on distant planets expanded rapidly, with families settling on worlds that were once considered uninhabitable. Trade routes opened between star systems, bringing exotic materials and resources that transformed Earth's economy. Even as the celebrations continued, Admiral Torin monitored the outer colonies. "Enjoy the victory," he told his officers. "But remember, peace is never given freely. It is earned and defended." Lyra, however, remained hopeful. She knew that the universe was full of danger, but she also knew the human spirit. Humanity had survived plagues, wars, and countless hardships on Earth. If they approached the stars with courage, intelligence, and cooperation, they could carve a place for themselves among the greatest civilizations in history. As the golden light of the dying star reflected off the assembly station, Lyra looked out into the vastness of space. The future was uncertain, but humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. For the first time, humans could stand tall among the stars, not as subjects, but as equals. And for Ambassador Lyra Voss, this was just the beginning of a journey that would test every human strength, every human skill, and every human value. Life on Earth had changed since humanity joined the Celestial Assembly. Cities gleamed with new technology, colonies on distant planets thrived, and humans traveled between star systems like never before. Trade ships carried rare minerals, exotic foods, and advanced equipment across the galaxy. Humans were proud, hopeful, and confident that the age of peace had finally arrived. Yet not everyone shared that optimism. Admiral Torin Hale, commander of the United Earth Defense Fleet, studied reports from the outer colonies with a growing sense of unease. Satellites had detected unusual energy spikes near Aurora Station, one of humanity's most important colonies. Communications had occasionally dropped out, and minor technical failures were becoming more frequent. At first, engineers blamed solar storms, worn-out machinery, or software glitches. But Torin's instincts told him something was wrong. "Torin, the logs say it's just another minor system error," said Commander Mirajuno, reviewing a hollow screen filled with colony reports. "Aurora Station lost power for 2 hours last week, but it came back online automatically. Nothing serious." Torin shook his head. "Minor system errors don't happen in clusters, Mira. Not in 3 colonies at once with identical anomalies. Someone or something is testing us." Meanwhile, Ambassador Lyra Voss was on a diplomatic mission to the outer colonies, visiting researchers and engineers. She noticed similar issues: sudden energy drops, short-circuit warnings, and automated systems behaving strangely. Yet the council representatives who were supposed to provide support dismissed all concerns as routine. "They say it's just growing pains," Lyra reported to Torin over a secure channel. "But something about it feels off. I've been in the council hall. I've seen how some species react to young civilizations. Their smiles are polite, but their eyes, they are watching us closely. Too closely." Torin studied the latest data. Patterns were emerging. Electrical grids would fail for exactly 37 minutes, communications would drop for hours, and automated defenses would shut down at precise intervals. It was too consistent to be a coincidence. "Someone is testing our response time," he said grimly. "They want to know how fast humans react under pressure, how strong we really are when technology fails." That evening, in a fortified council observation chamber far above the inner rim of the galaxy, 3 alien leaders watched the same events unfold, but from their own perspective. Overlord Nivrax of the Xyler Dominion's claws drummed against the console in frustration. Humans are resilient, far too resilient. Even when we disable their systems, they adapt. They repair damage faster than we expected. We must escalate. The Helion scientist Calyx adjusted the holographic display. Their colonies survived without panic. Local leaders organized civilians, repaired systems, and kept people safe. This intelligence and adaptability is problematic. A Thaler general, Xeric, leaned forward, his scaled face shadowed with concern. They will soon learn our methods if we continue like this. Their fleets grow faster than anticipated. Their engineers outsmart our minor disruptions. At this rate, controlling them will be impossible. Back on Earth, the people continued their daily lives, unaware of the looming danger. Children played in floating parks, merchants traded across interplanetary markets, and scientists experimented on newly discovered worlds. Humanity's progress was breathtaking, and the population was more confident than ever in its place among the stars. Yet, Torin and Lyra could not ignore the signs. They began organizing private meetings with trusted engineers, military officers, and researchers. Plans were made to strengthen colony defenses, improve backup power systems, and monitor for any unusual activity. "We can't fight what we don't understand," Torin said, "but we can prepare. Every colony, every fleet, every system must be ready for surprises." Lyra nodded. "I've met council representatives who smile while hiding thoughts far darker than we can imagine. They fear us, Torin. Humanity's growth is unpredictable, and that frightens them more than they'll ever admit." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, secret factions continued their discussions. The Xylar Dominion, KRYV Coalition, and Helion Technate plotted strategies to manipulate Earth. Their plan was subtle. Test humanity, weaken it through controlled crises, and ensure that humans remained dependent on the Council for support. "We must be careful," Nivrax growled. "A direct attack now could unite humans against us. But indirect measures, hidden tests, they will not see it coming." Calyx's calm voice echoed, "Every power grid failure, every communication blackout, every sudden fleet exercise is a measure of their adaptability. Soon, we will know how far we can push them before they push back." On Earth, Admiral Torin reviewed the outer colony's defenses with his team. Engineers designed redundancies for all critical systems. Fleet commanders ran simulated scenarios to respond to attacks, even though they didn't know from whom. "Every failure is a lesson," Torin told his officers. "We must learn faster than the enemy anticipates. Humanity survives because we never give up. We adapt, we overcome, and we protect each other." Lyra, meanwhile, continued her diplomatic work, meeting alien officials and learning more about their cultures. She saw kindness, wisdom, and progress, but she also saw suspicion, envy, and fear. Humanity's rapid rise had already made them a concern to the galaxy's oldest civilizations. One night, Lyra looked up at the stars from a research colony orbiting a distant planet. The lights of human cities shimmered below, and the stars stretched endlessly above. She felt a mixture of pride and worry. Humanity had achieved greatness, but the universe was not a safe place for those who grew too quickly. Somewhere in the shadows, the council factions plotted. They believed that young civilizations were like sparks, powerful but controllable, if managed correctly. If left unchecked, they could burn the galaxy or destroy those who tried to suppress them. Humanity was that spark. Lyra's eyes narrowed as she whispered to herself, "If they are testing us, they will see one thing clearly. We are not so easy to control." The outer colonies, the fleets, and the people of Earth were about to face trials that no one could have predicted. Humanity's resilience and courage would soon be tested in ways that would define its future among the stars. But for now, the people of Earth lived in peace, unaware of the hidden threat growing in the shadows of the Celestial Assembly. Their first taste of interstellar recognition was just the beginning, and in the darkness between stars, the Council's secret plan moved forward, setting the stage for a conflict that would push humanity to its limits and reveal the true strength of the human spirit. Far beyond the outer colonies of humanity, in a heavily guarded orbital fortress, The true leaders of the Celestial Assembly convened in secret. The room was dark, lit only by holographic projections of star systems, planets, and, most importantly, Earth. Overlord Nivrax of the Xylar Dominion towered over the display. His claws drummed on the table, sending echoes through the chamber. "Their growth is alarming," he hissed. "They adapt too quickly, respond too well to disruptions, and inspire loyalty among their people. If we leave them unchecked, they will surpass us in decades, not centuries." Beside him, the Helion scientist Calix adjusted the hologram, zooming in on human colonies. "Our minor tests have failed to reveal weakness. Every time we cut their power, sabotage their communications, or block their fleets, they recover faster than expected. Their resilience is unnatural." A Thaler general named Xeric leaned forward, his scaled face shadowed with anger. "We cannot contain them with patience alone. Their fleets grow every year. Their engineers outsmart our attempts to slow them down. They are becoming dangerous." Nivrax's voice dropped to a growl. "Dangerous? They are a threat. Not now, perhaps, but soon. We need to act before they realize how strong they are." Calix's calm tone cut through the tension. "We need a strategy that appears benevolent. Humans respect authority, but they also cherish freedom. A direct attack will unite them against us. We need subtlety. A crisis that appears to be protection, not a trap." Xeric's eyes glinted. "We manufacture a threat. We offer guidance and support while secretly weakening them. Their fleets will be drawn into a controlled engagement. Their colonies can be tested. We will measure their reaction times, their adaptability, their intelligence under pressure." Nivrax nodded. "Exactly. We call it the false alliance. They will believe we are helping them, but in reality we control the situation. Every failure, every blackout, every interference is a lesson. And if they resist too well, we escalate." The council members debated quietly, their voices low but full of tension. They had underestimated humanity once. They would not make that mistake again. Every detail of the plan was meticulously mapped. Where disruptions would occur, which colonies would be most affected, and how Earth's fleets would respond. Back on Earth, Admiral Torin Hale remained vigilant. "Something is happening," he told Ambassador Lyra Voss. "It's not random. These failures, power outages, system crashes, communications blackouts, they are too precise. Someone is testing our limits." Lyra's expression was serious. "The Council seems trustworthy in public, Torin. But their history tells a different story. They have controlled young civilizations before. Humanity is too fast, too strong. I fear they see us as a problem." Torin's jaw tightened. "Then we prepare. Every colony needs backup systems. Every fleet must run simulations for unexpected attacks. And every engineer must be ready. If the Council is planning anything, we won't be caught off guard." Meanwhile, in the secret chambers of the Celestial Assembly, the Xylar, Helion, and Thaler factions continued plotting. Holograms displayed Earth's colonies, energy grids, fleet positions, and population centers. Every possible weakness was mapped. Nivrax slammed his claws again. "Even now, their civilians organize faster than we anticipated. Their engineers repair systems before our pulses can even take effect. This is troubling." Calix's voice was calm, almost clinical. "It is troubling, yes, but not insurmountable. We simply increase the pressure, introduce small crises, and observe. The humans will eventually overreach or make mistakes. Then we can act decisively." Xeric's tail flicked with impatience. "We must ensure they never realize the full truth. If they discover our manipulations, they will unite with other species against us. Subtlety is essential." On Earth, the people remained unaware of the machinations above. Life continued in colonies and cities. Children played in floating parks, engineers tested new technologies, and traders moved exotic goods between star systems. Humanity thrived, confident in their place among the stars. But Torin and Lyra knew the truth. They began quietly strengthening defenses, preparing emergency protocols, and training fleets for unexpected scenarios. humanity's greatest asset, its resilience, would soon be tested, and both leaders knew it. Even as the council plotted, a small but significant fact remained. Humans had never faced such a coordinated, galaxy-wide scheme designed specifically to test their limits. Every blackout, every failure, every sudden fleet exercise was now part of a carefully controlled experiment. The council factions believed they could manipulate humanity, bend it to their will, and test its strength without consequences. Lyra looked up at the stars one night, her thoughts heavy. "They see us as sparks," she whispered. "But they don't realize that sparks can start fires that consume everything in their path." Torin's voice echoed through the secure comlink. "Then let them test us. Humanity will respond not with fear, but with ingenuity. We adapt, we survive, and we rise stronger." Far above, in the council's shadowed chambers, Nivrax, Calyx, and Xeric watched Earth with growing frustration and curiosity. They had underestimated humans before, but now they were determined to control them, or at least to try. Little did they know humanity's greatest strength was not in fleets, technology, or numbers. It was in their spirit, their courage, ingenuity, and determination to survive no matter the odds. The first tests were only beginning, and the galaxy was about to witness a confrontation unlike any it had seen in millennia. On Earth, life seemed normal. Colonies across distant star systems were bustling with activity. Children played in floating parks, engineers tested new energy sources, and traders moved exotic goods between planets. The people of humanity had come to believe that the galaxy had finally recognized them as equals, and for the first time in centuries they felt safe. But the safety was an illusion. In the outer colonies, subtle disruptions had begun to escalate. Communications dropped out without warning, automated defenses shut down, and power grids failed for brief but critical moments. Aurora Station, one of the largest colonies, experienced a sudden blackout that lasted nearly 2 hours. At first, civilians panicked. Alarms rang through the station, life support systems blinked off and on, and emergency lights bathed the city in red. Admiral Torin Hale received the reports immediately. His expression was grim as he studied the logs. "These are not accidents," he said to his officers. "Every failure is calculated. Someone is testing how we respond to crisis." Commander Mirajuno, his second-in-command, frowned. "But Torin, the systems are coming back online faster than expected. Engineers are restoring power, and communications are being re-established." Torin nodded slowly. "Exactly. That is why this is so dangerous. They expect us to falter. But humans don't just survive, they adapt." At Aurora Station, engineers worked tirelessly. Holoscreens displayed failing systems, sparks flew from overloaded circuits, and alarm sirens echoed through the corridors. Yet, in every room, humans remained calm. Teams coordinated repairs, civilians assisted each other, and temporary power grids were activated to support essential functions. Lyra Voss arrived on the station to observe the situation. She moved through the chaos with confidence, offering support and encouragement. "Everyone stay focused," she called out. "We have faced challenges before, and we will overcome this one too. Work together, and nothing will stop us." Civilians responded with remarkable cooperation. Families helped guide children to safe areas, technicians shared tools and knowledge, and volunteers organized emergency response teams. Even in the face of confusion and fear, humanity's ingenuity shone through. In the control room, Torin watched the unfolding scene with pride and concern. "They are stronger than the council thinks," he muttered. "Even under pressure, they keep their composure. This is what makes humans unpredictable and dangerous." Meanwhile, in the secret chambers of the Celestial Assembly, alien leaders monitored Earth's response. Overlord Nivrax bared his teeth in frustration. "They recover too quickly. Our pulses should have crippled them for days. Yet they are back online before we even expected." Calyx's calm voice echoed through the chamber. "Their adaptability is remarkable. They improvise, coordinate, and respond faster than our calculations predicted. This is unsettling." Xeric hissed, slamming a clawed hand on the table. "We cannot underestimate them." The simulations show they will survive even the next level of disruption. They may even grow stronger because of it. Back on Earth, the human fleets were mobilized. Torin ordered strategic drills for ships in orbit above colonies experiencing system failures. Artificial intelligence programs ran simulations of potential threats, while commanders tested communication redundancies. Even without knowing the true cause of the disruptions, humans were ready for anything. Lyra joined Torin on the command bridge. "They expect us to panic, Torin," she said. "But humans don't panic. We adapt. And that is why they fear us." Torin's eyes narrowed. "This is just the beginning, Lyra. Whoever is behind these attacks, these tests, they will escalate. But we will be ready. Humans have survived worse than this. In the outer colonies, ordinary people became heroes. Teachers guided children through emergency protocols. Engineers devised innovative power reroutes, and civilians built temporary shelters for those affected by sudden system failures. Humanity's strength was not in their weapons or technology. It was in their unity, courage, and determination. Even the youngest children sensed the urgency but responded with astonishing calm. They learned evacuation procedures faster than expected, followed instructions, and helped adults maintain order. The resilience of an entire civilization shone in every corner of the colonies. By the time the final pulse of disruption ended, Earth and its colonies had restored normalcy. Systems hummed again, communications were fully operational, and fleets returned to standard patrols. Not a single colony had fallen, and human losses were minimal. On the Celestial Assembly's monitoring station, Nivrax growled, pacing in agitation. "Impossible! They should have faltered, shown weakness. But they didn't. They thrived under pressure." Calix studied the readings calmly. "Humans are an anomaly. Their capacity to recover is unlike anything we've encountered. Containment may require more than subtle tests." Zirich's tail twitched nervously. "If they continue to adapt at this rate, any attempt to control them directly will fail. They will fight back." Back on Earth, Torin stood on the deck of a fleet command ship, watching Aurora Station through orbital sensors. "They think they are testing us," he said quietly. "But they are about to discover something important. Humans do not bend easily. We survive. We fight. And when pushed too far, we strike back." Lyra joined him, gazing at the planet below. "This was only a warning," she said softly. "The Council believes they are shaping us, controlling us, but they are underestimating our strength. They will learn soon enough." As the sun rose over Earth, humanity continued its daily life. Markets opened, children returned to their games, engineers resumed experiments, and traders journeyed between planets. The people of Earth were unaware that the first tests of their resilience had only just ended, and that more challenges were coming. But for Torin, Lyra, and those who watched closely, one fact was already clear. Humanity had survived. They had adapted. They had overcome. And they would not stop. The galaxy could test them, threaten them, or try to control them. Humanity's spirit, ingenuity, and unity would ensure they would endure. And when the time came, they would not just survive, they would fight back. Life on Earth and the outer colonies had returned to normal, or so it seemed. Humans had survived the first wave of mysterious disruptions, repairing power grids, restoring communications, and organizing emergency response teams with remarkable efficiency. The fleets returned to standard patrols, and for a brief moment, humanity allowed itself to breathe. But the Celestial Assembly had other plans. In the shadowed chambers of the Assembly, Overlord Nivrax, Helion scientist Calix, and Thaler General Zirich finalized a new scheme. Their first tests had revealed something unsettling. Humans were stronger, faster, and smarter than anticipated. Subtle disruptions no longer sufficed. They needed a more sophisticated plan, a crisis that would appear accidental but serve as a trap. "We cannot strike directly," Nivrax hissed, "or the humans will unite against us. They are clever and unpredictable. We need a crisis that seems natural, one they will believe we are helping them solve." Calix nodded. "We call it the false crisis, a threat they cannot ignore, one that requires their fleets and colonies to act." While they are distracted, we observe, measure, and control the situation. Every decision they make will reveal their true capabilities. Zurich's tail flicked with impatience. We have already underestimated them once. We will not make that mistake again. The crisis must be convincing, impossible to detect until it is too late. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Torrin Hale was already wary. Reports from distant colonies had become increasingly strange. Meteor storms, minor asteroid collisions, and anomalies in navigation readings were all appearing at once, in regions vital to humanity's trade routes and defense lines. At first, they seemed like natural cosmic events, but Torrin's experience told him otherwise. "They are testing us again," he said to Ambassador Lyra Voss, studying the latest reports. "These accidents are too precise, affecting multiple colonies at once, at the same moment. Someone is orchestrating this." Lyra frowned, her voice quiet but firm. "The Council presents itself as a friend, but we know better. If they are behind this, we must remain calm, analyze every detail, and prepare our fleets for any eventuality." Torrin nodded. "I will activate emergency protocols. Every ship, every station, every colony will be ready. This crisis may appear accidental to the rest of humanity, but we will treat it as deliberate." The false crisis began subtly. A cluster of asteroid fields suddenly shifted, cutting off several key trade routes. Communications flickered with interference that could not be explained by normal cosmic activity. Scouts reported unusual energy readings near a minor, previously unexplored system. To most humans, it appeared to be a strange but natural threat. To Torrin and Lyra, it was clearly manufactured. Lyra addressed the Council publicly, in her role as ambassador. "We appreciate the Council's guidance during these anomalies," she said carefully. "But our fleets and colonies will act independently to protect civilians and maintain order." The Council members nodded in agreement outwardly, their expressions polite. Behind closed doors, however, Nivrax, Calyx, and Zurich smirked. Humanity believed in their good intentions, but the crisis had been designed with layers of deception. Energy surges in critical colonies, unexpected gravitational anomalies, and subtle sabotage in navigation systems ensured that Earth's fleets would face challenges at every turn. On Aurora Station, engineers scrambled to redirect power to damaged sectors. Traders delayed shipments as asteroid debris blocked interstellar lanes. Military fleets formed defensive formations to monitor potential threats. Humans acted with precision, courage, and determination, but they were entering a game designed to manipulate them. Torrin observed the fleets from the command bridge of his flagship. "They think they are leading us," he muttered. "But every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and survive. Let them test us. Humanity will respond in ways they cannot predict." Lyra joined him, her expression grim. "They believe fear will control us. But fear has never stopped humans before. We will face this crisis as we always have, together, with strength and ingenuity." Meanwhile, the Council factions watched Earth's response with a mixture of frustration and fascination. Nivrax gritted his teeth. "They adapt again, faster than expected. They anticipate anomalies, organize fleets, and protect colonies. This is remarkable." Calyx observed quietly. "They do not panic. Their leaders remain calm. Their civilians cooperate. If this continues, the false crisis may fail to weaken them at all. Instead, it may strengthen them." Zurich's tail thumped against the table. "We underestimated humanity once. Let us not make that mistake again. But we cannot ignore that they have already exceeded our expectations." On Earth, the people continued their efforts. Colonists repaired damaged structures. Engineers found innovative solutions for failing systems, and fleets adapted to gravitational anomalies and asteroid hazards with impressive coordination. Every challenge that the Council had designed to weaken humanity only revealed one undeniable truth. Humans were resilient, resourceful, and united in ways the Council could not predict. By the time the first phase of the false crisis passed, Earth's colonies and fleets had stabilized. The manufactured threats had been neutralized, trade routes reopened, and communication systems restored. Not a single colony had fallen, and losses were minimal. Admiral Torin looked out at the recovered colonies, pride and determination in his eyes. "They tried to manipulate us," he said. "But humanity has proven itself again. We adapt, we survive, and we protect each other. No false crisis will break us." Lyra nodded. "And now they know it. The Council may continue to test us, but every challenge only makes us stronger. They do not understand the human spirit." Far above, in the shadowed chambers of the Celestial Assembly, Nivrax, Calyx, and Xeric realized the truth. They had underestimated humanity yet again. Their plan had revealed more about human strength than they had intended. "Perhaps they are not the sparks we can control," Nivrax admitted, his voice low and tense. "Perhaps they are a fire that will consume everything in their path if we push too far." Calyx remained calm but concerned. "We must proceed cautiously. Humans are unpredictable, capable of innovation, and willing to fight to survive. Our next steps must consider that." Xeric's eyes glimmered with unease. "The tests have only begun. But one thing is certain, humanity will not be as easy to control as we once thought." Back on Earth, Torin and Lyra prepared for the future. They knew the Council's games were far from over. The false crisis had been a warning, and the next challenge would undoubtedly be more dangerous. But humanity had survived. Humanity had adapted. And when the time came, humanity would fight back with everything it had. For now, Earth celebrated its victories quietly, unaware of the hidden eyes watching from the shadows of the Celestial Assembly. The galaxy seemed calm, but the calm was a lie. Humanity had weathered the false crisis, proving its strength and resilience. Colonies thrived, fleets patrolled safely, and trade routes reopened. The people of Earth believed that peace had returned, and many allowed themselves to relax. But Admiral Torin Hale knew better. Something was coming. Something deliberate. The precision of the previous disruptions, the uncanny timing of crises, and the subtle manipulations by the Council left him certain. The galaxy's oldest powers were hiding something. Then it began. Reports arrived from the outer systems. Sudden fleet blockades, colonies cut off from communication, and fleets reporting unidentified alien vessels shadowing them. At first, the Council framed these events as accidents or threats from rogue species. They offered assistance, directing fleets to neutralize the danger while promising protection. Humanity was being led into a trap, and it was precise, calculated, and deadly. Admiral Torin gathered his commanders in the Fleet Command ship orbiting Aurora Station. "This isn't a natural threat," he said, pointing to a holographic display of alien fleets converging on multiple colonies. "This is a Council operation. They've orchestrated everything to manipulate our fleets, test our defenses, and control our colonies. They believe we'll fall into line." Ambassador Lyra Voss stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "They've underestimated us. The Council thinks they can trap humanity with deception. But we are stronger than they imagine. We will act with strategy, courage, and ingenuity. We will not be fooled." Torin nodded, his mind already racing with contingency plans. Fleets were repositioned, colonies fortified, and communication redundancies activated. Unlike before, humanity now approached the crisis not as victims, but as active participants, ready to turn the tables. As the fleets moved into formation, the first Council trap was revealed. Alien vessels, stealth ships from the Xylar Dominion and Helion Technate, emerged from hidden hyperspace lanes, surrounding several human colonies. Their goal was simple: cut off Earth's defenses, disable the colonies, and force humanity into submission. Yet the humans were prepared. Torin had anticipated the Council's strategy and set countermeasures in place. Fleets used advanced stealth technology, rapid response teams neutralized blockade ships, and automated drones repaired colony shields in real time. For every move the Council made, humanity had already thought 2 steps ahead. In the control room of one of the outer colonies, engineers worked furiously, rerouting power through backup grids and activating defensive systems. Civilians assisted in coordinating evacuation routes, distributing supplies, and maintaining order. The chaos that the Council had planned to exploit became a testament to human resilience and organization. Lyra broadcast a message to every human fleet and colony. The Council has betrayed us. They seek to control us, test us, and weaken us. They fear humanity's strength, creativity, and spirit. Stand together, protect your people, and remember, we survive because we adapt. We fight because we must. Humanity will not bow. The declaration spread like wildfire. Across the colonies, humans mobilized with courage and determination. Pilots engaged alien vessels with unconventional tactics, engineers repaired ships mid-battle, and civilian volunteers provided critical intelligence from the ground. Every corner of humanity worked as one coordinated force, turning the Council's trap into a battlefield where the humans held the advantage of ingenuity and determination. Overlord Nivrax, observing from the Celestial Assembly, slammed his claws against the console in anger. Impossible! They anticipate every move, adapt faster than we can calculate. How is this possible? Calix's voice remained calm, though a hint of unease was present. They are not predictable. Every tactic we employ to manipulate them strengthens their coordination, their problem-solving, and their resolve. We may have underestimated them once, but we are seeing the consequences now. Xeric hissed, frustrated. They will not be contained by fear or deception. Humanity adapts, survives, and fights back. If this continues, the Assembly's plan will fail entirely. On Earth, Torin and Lyra coordinated the defense like master strategists. Each colony's fleet acted in perfect synchronization, and the humans' adaptability proved overwhelming. Alien ships that had expected to trap humanity were instead forced into retreat. For the first time, humanity understood the full scope of the Council's betrayal. They had not simply tested humans. They had sought to dominate and control them through deception, engineered crises, and intimidation. The realization sent a ripple of anger and determination throughout Earth's fleets and colonies. Torin addressed his officers and fleet captains. They have betrayed us, underestimated us, and tried to control us. But we are human. We adapt, we overcome, and we strike back when necessary. Prepare for the counterattack. Humanity will not forget this day. Lyra added, her voice resolute. The Council believed they could manipulate us with subtle threats. They were wrong. Humanity is united, strong, and ready. They sought to test us, but in doing so, they revealed their weakness. The galaxy will know that betraying Earth comes with consequences. As the battle continued across multiple star systems, it became clear the Council had underestimated humans in every possible way. Their experience, ingenuity, and unity turned a trap into a lesson. A warning that the human spirit could not be controlled or broken. In the darkness of space, alien leaders watched in disbelief. Humanity had survived their deception, adapted faster than expected, and even gained the upper hand. For Nivrax, Calix, and Xeric, the truth was undeniable. Humanity was no longer a fledgling civilization to be guided or controlled. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, a species that would fight, adapt, and rise stronger than any obstacle. And for Torin and Lyra, the message was clear. Humanity's resilience was not just survival, it was preparation. Every challenge, every betrayal, and every test only made them stronger. The Council had revealed its hand, and humanity was ready to respond. Not with fear, but with determination, courage, and a resolve that no power in the galaxy could suppress. The betrayal was unveiled. The trap was exposed, and humanity's true strength was about to be fully realized. The betrayal had been revealed. Humanity had survived the Council's trap, adapted to their manipulations, and proven its strength across multiple colonies and fleets. But survival was no longer enough. Now, it was time to show the galaxy that humans would not simply endure, they would fight back. Admiral Torin Hale stood on the bridge of his flagship, USS Vanguard, overlooking a massive fleet of human ships. Thousands of vessels, from nimble scouts to heavily armed dreadnoughts, stretched across the orbital space of Aurora Station. Every captain, every officer, and every crew member had been trained for this moment. Humanity would no longer be passive. It would respond with precision, strategy, and determination. Beside him, Ambassador Lyra Voss addressed the fleet via secure comms. The Council sought to manipulate, control, and test us. They betrayed our trust. But humanity is not weak, and humanity is not submissive. We strike not for revenge alone, but to protect our people, our freedom, and our future. Every ship, every colony, every human is united. Today, we show the galaxy what it means to challenge Earth. The fleet roared into action, moving in calculated formations toward the Council's key positions. Alien leaders who had sought to dominate humanity watched with disbelief as Earth's forces coordinated attacks that combined ingenuity, adaptability, and relentless determination. The first targets were the hidden fleets of the Xylar Dominion. They had believed stealth and technological superiority would overwhelm humans. Instead, Earth scouts detected every vessel, using advanced sensors and improvisational tactics to outmaneuver the enemy. Drones repaired ships mid-battle, and human pilots executed daring maneuvers that left the aliens scrambling to respond. Meanwhile, the Hellion Technate attempted to destabilize Earth's colonies with energy pulses designed to cripple defenses. But humans had anticipated such attacks. Engineers rerouted power, activated shields, and deployed countermeasures that reflected the Council's own energy back at their ships. What was meant to destroy became a demonstration of human ingenuity. Lyra observed the unfolding battle from the command bridge. They thought they could control us with fear and deception, she said, her voice calm but resolute. But every attempt to weaken humanity only strengthens our resolve. We fight not because we hate them, but because we will not be controlled. Admiral Torin's fingers flew across the console. Coordinate with the colonies. Synchronize fleet attacks. Use adaptive tactics. Humanity must act as one mind. Let them see the cost of underestimating us. Across multiple star systems, humans coordinated strikes with surgical precision. Civilian colonies assisted by providing intelligence. Engineers worked on improvised weapons and shields, and military fleets executed bold maneuvers that disrupted the Council's plans at every turn. The Council had intended to dominate humanity, but the humans' unity turned the tables. In the heart of the Celestial Assembly, Overlord Nivrax, Hellion scientist Calyx, and Thaler General Xeric watched their fleets falter. Their carefully orchestrated trap had failed. Human adaptability, ingenuity, and spirit had transformed what they intended as a test into a full-scale counterattack. Nivrax slammed his claws on the console. Impossible! They recover faster than we can calculate. They strike with coordination and intelligence beyond prediction. Calyx's calm demeanor cracked slightly. They are extraordinary. Every maneuver we anticipate, they counter. Every weakness we expect, they adapt. We underestimated them, and it may cost us everything. Xeric hissed, tail lashing. They are not just fighting for survival. They are fighting for freedom, for pride, and for their future. This is not a rebellion. They are a storm. Back on Earth, the fleets pushed further into Council-controlled space. Each victory inspired another. Colonies that had once feared alien control now took active roles in the conflict, providing support, intelligence, and supplies. Humanity's rapid expansion, which the Council had once feared, became their greatest strength in battle. Lyra spoke to the fleets over broadcast comms. Humans are not pawns. Humans are not subjects. We are creators, explorers, and fighters. The galaxy may have sought to limit us, but we are limitless. Stand strong. Protect your people. Fight with honor, courage, and unity. As the battle reached its climax, Council leaders realized their error. Humans could not be controlled, manipulated, or intimidated. Every tactic, every deception, and every trap had been met with ingenuity and resilience. Humanity's counterattack was not just military, it was a demonstration of spirit. With the Council's fleets in retreat and their manipulations exposed, Earth's forces advanced toward the heart of the Celestial Assembly. The galaxy watched in awe as humans reclaimed their autonomy, striking a blow not only against the Council's betrayal, but against the arrogance of those who underestimated them. Admiral Torin addressed his officers and fleet captains one final time. The Council tried to test us, control us, and weaken us. They failed. Humanity survives not because of technology alone, but because we adapt, we endure, and we fight together. Today, we show the galaxy that betraying Earth comes with consequences. Lyra added, her voice carrying across communication channels. Humanity seeks peace, cooperation, and knowledge. But if we are challenged, we respond with strength. Today, the galaxy learns that humans do not bow. We rise, we fight, and we endure. In the shadowed chambers of the Celestial Assembly, Nivrax, Calyx, and Xeric realized the truth they had ignored for too long. Humans were no longer a fledgling civilization to be guided or tested. Humanity was a force of nature, adaptable, intelligent, and united. They had faced betrayal, survived against impossible odds, and struck back with precision and determination. And as Earth's fleets returned victorious, the galaxy understood that humanity's rise was unstoppable. The Council had underestimated them once, and it had cost them dearly. On Earth, celebrations erupted across the colonies. People gathered in streets, parks, and cities, honoring the fleets and the bravery of every human who had fought. Children gazed at the stars with wonder, inspired by the courage and unity of their people. Humanity had faced betrayal, adapted, survived, and now, for the first time, they had struck back. Admiral Torin and Ambassador Lyra stood together on the command deck of the USS Vanguard, looking out at the stars. "This is only the beginning," Torin said quietly. Lyra nodded. "Yes, humanity will continue to explore, to learn, and to grow. But no one will ever doubt our strength again." And so Earth had struck back. Humanity had survived betrayal, turned the tables on the Celestial Assembly, and emerged stronger than ever. The galaxy had been warned. Humans do not bow. Humans endure. Humans fight. And when pushed to the edge, humans rise.